Want to cross over and head on to Kibera, where the residents who are living next to the Kibera railway station have been rendered homeless following a demolition exercise carried out by a government multi-agency task force. The demolitions began in the wee hours of the morning, with residents engaging the law enforcement officers in running battles. Mark Namaswa is in Kibera now and joins us for an update. Mark, good morning. So talk to us about the situation currently. We understand there was a confrontation between the residents and the law enforcers. Has that stopped?
This is Area 42. We are just standing beside the railway line. And we are told by residents that about 200 structures or so are being demolished. Even at the moment, the demolition is still going on. And we are told that this started at about 4 a.m. And as it is now, we are told that about 1,000 people have been affected. The police officers are also on the ground trying to ensure that everyone who is supposed to move out of this particular place leaves. And people can be seen carrying their commodities, carrying their belongings, others on their backs, others have hired carts, popularly known as mikokoteni, so that they can take away their things to wherever they haven't even planned. I'm told that this came on, it's like an ambush. Most people have been taken by surprise, and they are now having to leave the railway line and move to other places. We have also been speaking to a number of residents of this area to tell us how this began. Now, this is one of the residents of this area, one of the youth leaders, and he's been telling me that this situation of tension and impending evictions has been there for about 5 years. Kindly tell us what's your name and what's going on.
Good morning, my name is Daniel Orogo. I chair the Langata Youth Network. As you have said, this has been a pending issue here for some time. And it was basically what was called a railway relocation plan. That means when you do an enumeration in 2010, those who were staying along these structures were supposed to be relocated to come to these permanent structures. And so there have been an overlap in terms of relocating these guys to the new structures. We are not blaming the authorities. Authorities are doing the work, but look at what is happening right now. The notice was short. I think it was important to give them enough notice so that they have enough time to relocate, because this is a relocation action plan. It shouldn't be an eviction at any point. It ought not to have been an eviction. It ought to be a relocation, and it ought to have been peaceful relocation. You know, this is a World Bank funded program. And the World Bank has got a policy of relocation, in that anybody should be given an opportunity to improve his lifestyle. So it's unfortunate what has happened today. It's unfortunate what had happened today, that there was a short notice in terms of relocation. But now what we are waking up to this morning is an eviction. And I would just appeal to the administration that it has reached to this level that the residents would be allowed to take their property to the safe places so that the structures should be removed, if that is what has been reached upon.
Okay. You've told me that this is a decanting area. What does that mean in this context?
You see, the word decanting means a temporary settlement. It means where the residents are actually temporarily putting on, that is where they are temporarily staying. When they are waiting so that all the legal processes should be in a process for relocation to the new structures. What has happened today is that you could see these are not 200 people. The structure here carries about 400 people. The other side carries about 600 people. We are talking about 1,000 residents of Kibera, very unfortunate residents who are waking up to an illegal eviction. So the question that we've been asking the leadership for a while, where do you take these people? Right now, they had no plan to get anywhere. They had no plan to put up, probably with their relatives. As your camera zoomed there, they're waiting any help. So where are they moving from? So it's our concern that this morning there's nowhere. It is actually eviction, not resettlement, which beats up the plan, because the World Bank, this is a World Bank funded program. It's a World Bank Kenya Railway as a corporation. So it is a violation of the World Bank principles that the residents should be given a safe havens for slum upgrading, not eviction.
At the moment, I can sniff tear gas in the air. What has been happening? Because I'm told on another part of this area, we still have some form of confrontation.
Yeah, that's what I said. The police are actually doing their work so that they protect even the property that are here. But on the other side, we are having youth who are confronting the police, the authorities, which is very unfortunate for these people who are staying here, because once you confront the police at the other side, it means they probably would throw the tear gas canisters on the other side for those who are removing their structures, which is very unfortunate because for them, they are not involving themselves in confrontation with the police. So my appeal, as I wind up, my appeal is this. These are residents who have nowhere to go this morning. They have totally nowhere to go because the eviction started at 4 a.m. The legal process about eviction should be daylight, and it should be supervised with authorities, in that the residents should be given an alternative what to do. So we are actually appealing to the government to look. Actually, I'm telling you for the truth. The Kenya Railway, there is a corruption in this process. I am telling you the truth because these residents were supposed to be relocated to these structures. If you can walk to these structures, they are very good structures. But you look at these Mobati structures, the residents are not relocated to these structures, they are demolished. So what happens is that there need to be an audit of these houses. The Kenya Railway and the government should audit these houses and know who are actually in the 2010 enumeration, because these are data that was done in 2010.
I'm told some of these new structures have been taken over by middle-class citizens of this town. How did it come about?
Once again, I am saying because there is a cahoot. There is a cahoot that is colluding with the Kenya Railway to give structures to the people who do not deserve. Because why? The residents that are here, again I will repeat because my point goes to the residents, that the legal owners of people who should be relocated. If you can do your independent, KTN can do their independent investigation in this structure, you will actually find people whose their names were not in this data for 2010, but they are given the houses, they are staying there. These poor people who are actually in the 2010 data and who actually, their structures are along the Kenya Railway, who actually even, there is a danger of the railway derailment, which of course a train can fall in these structures. But look at them, they are in the data in the 2010, but in the 2015 data, they are not there. Who removed their names? Some of their houses are not completed in those structures. Yes.
Let me give another resident an opportunity. Have you been affected by this current situation, and where are you heading to?
Yes. Okay. My name is Lucas Owino. I'm a resident of this place, Kibera. But what is happening this morning is totally a surprise to us, and it is really inhumane. And now, my big question to Mr. President, who is the driver of this country, is that, are you really concerned with the Kenyans that took their time and voted for the right person of this country to be the president? And after that, the result we are seeing is really, really, really not good. And again, one thing that the Mr. President should know is that laughing faces does not mean that there is absence of sorrow, but it only means that we have got the ability to deal with it. So if there was a handshake that happened between you and Mr. Raila Odinga, who is our president and the president of the people, know very well that, and we humbly ask you to see what you can do over this issue. Because these are the thousands of people who are now, they don't know where they are going to be after this minute. They don't know where they are going to be placed. And we have got the small kids. Some have been displaced from their schools. So the problem here is corruption. But what are you doing, Mr. President? What are you doing? We want you to take action. Take action, because we are Kenyans. We are Kenyans. And don't take advantage of that handshake. It can be broken at any time.
Okay, those are some of the residents of Area 42 here in Kibera who are right now displaced because there's an ongoing demolition of structures here. And they were supposed to move to alternative places of abode, but that has not happened. Right now, they have to make do with the relatives and friends. But as it is now, we're told another section, there's some confrontation. You can get whiffs of tear gas heading towards this direction. So let's head there and see what is transpiring there. Back to you, Betty.
All right, Mark Namaswa, they're speaking to the residents of Kibera who have been affected by the demolitions that took place in the wee hours of the morning. And like he mentioned earlier, about 1,000 people having been displaced or in one way or another affected by these demolitions. We'll keep an